Hi, welcome to the story so far. This is your host John Salvador, and today we're going to talk about an economy update for March and April 2020. Look, I want to mention at this stage that a lot of the things that are happening right now I've been saying for months, and they've been recorded in my previous episodes. Unfortunately, I've been validated, but I just never thought that it was going to be a fake or real virus that was going to prick or trigger everything that we're seeing right now. Some days I like to believe that it's a legit thing, and some other days I'm thinking it's a hoax, and anything in between, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are on the same boat. Only time will tell. Now, what's been happening, obviously, hundreds of thousands of people losing their jobs, unfortunately. I've seen people queuing around the Centrelink, which is the government agency that handles the unemployed and most of the social programs that are out there to assist. And obviously the reaction from the government, the current government in power, has finally done what I said they were going to do. They were going to print money. Now they've delivered about $1 trillion into the economy, and that is just a figure that if I ask you to write down on a piece of paper, maybe you'll get a few zeros wrong. I would. So what I'm trying to say here is that they, instead of printing a little bit of money, they just brought out the bombers with dropping money. Quantitative easing is a fancy word for printing money. The Australian government is calling it a stimulus package, another soft kind of word for it. But basically it is printing money until no one knows when. Okay, so imagine, sure, if you're a small business owner or a big business owner, or if you lost your job, that sort of stuff, there's a lot of different programs that are being put into place, and you can apply to those. But where's that money coming from? It's coming from the printing machine. So what that means, and what I've been saying for months now, is the value of the money, it's going to be less and less, because if we had certain amount of productivity and certain amount of money circulating in the economy, and all of a sudden the productivity is the same or less, which is the case right now, and I'm putting in trillions of dollars, literally injecting money that has not been produced, it's been printed. Okay, the government had a bit of a surplus, but that's just a little exchange pocket money compared to what they've been doing now. Okay, so the color stimulus package, I brought here everything. Every day it seems like it's something different that they're trying to do, which I think it's a bit of a joke, but look, I can understand too, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and just governments are just trying to do whatever they can with what they have to be able to patch holes. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Okay, I would also say that interest rates are going to trend towards zero and negative. They're now at 0.25. There's very little left here, and as I've been mentioning in the past, if you take inflation in consideration, we're normally already in negative territory. Okay, if inflation is 3-5%, and the rates in the bank are 0.25%, your cash rates, your money it has been going backwards for ages. Okay, and hence why I've been talking about investing and having hard assets as opposed to just having money in the bank. I talked about superannuations. Again, I feel validated, because I've been saying that some of those were going to go to half. Some of those have taken serious hits. So if you're counting on that or retirement and you're close to your age of retirement, guess what? You're going to have to sit for another 15, 20 years, 10, 8, I don't know. Some people are saying it's going to be a quick comeback. Some others are saying it's going to be a long comeback. But I guess the moral of the story here is not relying on that solely for self-funded retirement, and have a life that a bit more comfortable and pandemonium free. Okay, that word's been stuck in my head, pandemonium. Okay, now basically all these quantitative easing or stimulus packages are being injected in the economy. What they're trying to achieve is people to spend money and keep the economy going. But if you think about it, it's only going to certain areas at this stage, right? Okay, sure. If you're unemployed, you're getting a bit of money on the side. You're going to be paying. You're going to be buying food. A lot of people are going back to their parents and things like that. So you're going to be buying food. You're going to be bailing out Woolies, which is a public company. We all know, and this has been happening since November last year, or September last year. The government's been bailing out the banks through the repo market to keep liquidity and banks solvent. And now I can see the airlines. There's a battle between Virgin and Qantas for bailout, and they're asking for billions of dollars from the government to stay afloat. Look, and I can respect that and I can understand that, but there's going to be a lot of small fries like me, you, us. They're going to have to sail these by having had good financials, good savings, and hard assets. And who knows? Only time will tell. But certainly a lot of us do not qualify for a lot of these programs. So a lot of us are pretty much on our own. And but look, having money on the side, having investments, having rent coming through is important. Okay. Maybe I should take the opportunity right now to address the rent situation, because as you know, I'm well invested in property, and rent is my main source of income besides my job. And there's a lot of talks about people not paying rent and not wanting to talk rent. I suggest you do your research, and if this is a fear that you're having right now, I'm still getting my rents. And I will know I will continue my rents, because a lot of these stimulus packages, and I can see Queensland was one of the ones that was more proactive yesterday. It's going to give some sort of incentive rent assistance to people. Basically, it'll be in the form of maybe like a voucher or something that they could use. But those that think they can get away with not paying rent, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, because the government will have those programs. It's not like you just all of a sudden can go and say, "La, I'm not going to pay rent." You tenants, as many other contractual obligations, have a contractual obligation with the landlord, and vice versa. And it is the government that will have to step in. As I said, the Queensland government has already done that. It's been the most proactive one. It did it yesterday. So it's going to give a rent assistance package to those that cannot pay rent. So landlords and tenants can survive equally. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool, and that eliminates the speculation. Say, I'm not going to pay rent. Sure, guess what? If you don't pay it, you're going to have to pay it on the back end. Same as your mortgages. If you were able to freeze your mortgage, it's going to be capitalized on the back end. Eventually, you have to pay it. Okay, so I prefer that you are realistic up front, as opposed to thinking that you're going to get away with anything. Nobody's going to get away with anything. Nobody rides for free. Okay? Bear that in mind. Okay? Now, what's happening right now, even though the government, obviously the government is injecting all this money into the economy, they want to avoid all asset classes going to hell. But guess what? It is happening. And I suggest there's been a lot of smart people like your Ray Dalios and your Peter Schiffs, and a lot of the guys that manage the funds. No, I'm not talking about the Australian funds. People that manage real money, right? They've been talking about similarities with the 1929 and what happened in Germany with printing all the money and the currency just being be worth nothing. I suspect something similar is happening. The Australian dollar, the value against the US dollar has continued to drop. So our currency, the future of our currency is not looking very, very bright, I must say. Okay, so that's why I continue to hold hard assets. What are hard assets? I said it a few episodes ago: gold, silver, and property. Okay, regardless if the property is not going to grow in price or anything, I'll have a tenant in there. The tenant needs to pay rent. And in this pandemonium environment, guess what? People are camping out at home and they'll need a roof to stay in there. Okay, so if you have a tenant, treat them well, treat them fair. through your agent. You don't need to go and do anything. But keep the communication open with your property managers. A decent property manager will handle the situation. The government's going to throw stimulus packages like the Queensland government has already done. It's going to be fun, okay? But I did have a superannuation episode there. There's not much you can do. I can talk. I can help my tenant, and therefore I can get my rents in. But there's nothing you can do now with your superannuation and your shares, your ETFs. I recall having online conversation with people. ETF, I'm retired with the cash flow of my ETFs and the dividends from my share. Let's have a conversation now, okay? And I invite anyone to add in the comment section if anyone's interested enough, just so we can have that conversation there. I do have a superannuation fund that I'm just, because I work and it's there, but I've never counted on it for my retirement. As a matter of fact, maybe when I hit 65, I'm going to get whatever's in there. I'm going to go travel around the world and buy a new vehicle and surfboards and go surf Indonesia with my girl, etc. Okay, I'm not counting on that for retirement. Okay, so bear that in mind. Take the opportunity. See what the smart people are talking about. Okay, deflation. Now, guess what's going to happen once all those trillions and millions, billions, trillions of dollars are injected in the economy? Ultimately, it's going to lead to inflation. Okay, and as a matter of fact, right now it is happening. I'm seeing basic items for various reasons, scarcity, hoarding, etc. They're already going up in price. I guess all this money is going to start inflating assets again in certain areas. Health, imagine our health system is going to come out very thirsty after this episode, and everything's just going to go through the roof. Okay, petrol, it's worth nothing now, but it's going to go up again, as everything does. And when the interest rates turn around and all this money it's circulating in the economy and people have the confidence to get back out there, this is going to go through the roof. And inflation favors hard assets, gold, silver, and real estate. Okay. I'm going to be recording a couple of things, but you're welcome to subscribe, share with friends, watch this again. Go and study what happened in 1929 if you're a history buff, if you're interested in history. Okay. Don't let these fancy words, quantitative easing, stimulus package, fool you. It's all going to the big boys. Okay. Right. So be careful. All right. The fact that you're going to get a $500 a week for the next 3 months or whatever, it's great, and it's much appreciated for those that are losing their jobs. But this is the ultimate. This is what they want. Keep the banks alive. Airline super funds. The super funds, the guys that are managing our money in the superannuation are asking for bailouts. This is scary, very scary. Okay. All right. Until next time. Sorry, I was not very positive. It's not a very positive outlook. Or economic update, but in the meantime, stay sane, stay strong, and use this time wisely to think how about whenever this happens again, because it has happened in the past and it will happen in the future, what financial, physical, and psychological position you want this to find you. Okay, stay strong, and stay sane. Until next time.